Let's watch this switch out video and then this insane video, and then we're moving. Getting straight to the games. I like those. Yeah, it was a good song.
I'm a warrior.
Four years ago, we got the news that DeMarcus Cousins was officially joining the Golden State Warriors. And at that time, we all came to the conclusion, parity in the NBA is officially over. The best center in the league at the time, joining the best collection of talent maybe ever, we might as well just hand them the trophy. But we all know how that ended. Fast forward to today, and we are now in an era where parity is more prevalent than ever, and it's actually made the NBA feel a little bit off. Now, no, this isn't to say that I'm not appreciating the new faces, the new talent, and definitely the new teams, but the way we got here isn't quite exactly how I imagined. I made a video.
Little comment, the Bulls defense is going to get them bounced out in the first round. You heard it here first.
We got here.
The Bulls defense is going to get them bounced out in the first
Isn't
round.
quite
What the fuck is Vucevic doing?
Exactly how I imagined. I made a video literally last year explaining why the NBA hasn't made a lot of sense since 2017. And it's almost like this video is a part 2 of that. Missing multiple NBA stars for a multitude of reasons, extreme hypocrisy with these damn NBA awards, and 10 years later, LeBron and Kevin Durant still feels like the best players in the world on any given night, yet where they stand at team-wise doesn't quite correlate. Think about it like this. 10 years ago, KD and Bron were 1 and 2 in the MVP race, where Bron ultimately won. Then they met in the NBA Finals, where LeBron pretty much confirmed he was the best player at that time and most deserving of that award. Now at that time, we couldn't even fathom LeBron or Kevin Durant being on a team fighting for a playoff spot. It was like that was way beneath them. If they were on a team, they automatically had a spot. But now, if you look at them today with elevated numbers in all-time type of performances, these two find themselves in almost identical, unfamiliar territory standing-wise. Also, the irony of it, I consider these two the two best players of the 2010s, and they both had pretty dramatic NBA divorces. Kyrie Irving left LeBron in 2017 after just winning a championship the year prior, and Kevin Durant left Russell Westbrook in 2016 after blowing a 3-1 lead. Now, these two find themselves switching partners where both has been problematic for their teams in some capacity. Kyrie Irving's shot status missing the majority of the year, and Russell Westbrook's shot status missing the majority of the year. He's been better as of late, but it may be too late. This stuff is actually getting hard to keep up with. And speaking of keeping up, let's have a quick word from today's video sponsor, Keeps. Hair loss is a massive thing that studies.
No free ads.
Finally been lifted, which is great, but the damage it's done to Brooklyn this year, it's been so damn significant, bro. It's crazy. Brooklyn, they pretty much traded James Harden because of it, and they had to roll out two completely different teams afterwards. One where KD gets blitzed at half court and has to shoot like 20 contested shots a night, and the other one where Kyrie Irving is dropping 60, 43, and actually helping Kevin Durant. This is all because of a rule that pretty much never really made much sense, and now has Brooklyn in a play-in game ready to ruin all of Miami's hard-ass work. Also, after a while, the hypocrisy of the mandate is what started to make everyone scratch their heads. Like, of course, at first we all called Kyrie selfish, which it quite literally was a selfish decision. But eventually, as we dove deeper into the rule, it literally never made sense, and it was always pointless. Kyrie is considered a New York worker, so he had to be vaxxed to play in his own building. Yet other unvaxxed players, coaches, and fans, they can still be on the court and play a whole series despite their status. It just felt like one of those because I said so as rules that everybody knew never.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, that was kind of some dick suck. Like, it really didn't make sense, but the nigga just didn't want to change it because he didn't want to admit that he was wrong.
It made sense.
Why you got my last name?
With some NBA
What the fuck is you, nigga?
stuff, and let's talk about the hypocrisy with these damn NBA awards. I don't even know what the criteria of the MVP award is anymore. Like, I have no clue. It's almost like Russell Westbrook was a glitch in the Matrix and he completely broke the system and it hasn't recovered since. That's just how it feels. History would tell you we used to reward the best player on the best team. Not saying they always won the MVP, but they were at least in the top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, simply off their team's winning status alone. In 2005, one of the most controversial MVPs ever, Steve Nash clearly won because his team had the best record in the league. Shaq, Dirk Nowitzki, and to me, Tim Duncan definitely, they all had stronger cases. For the last 20 years, we always rewarded the best player on the best team. Like, history will tell you that. So somebody tell me why in the hell is Devin Booker not
This shit is crazy.
Anywhere near the MVP conversation?
Okay, first off, I don't get Luka or Tatum. Really and truly. Tatum's been balling recently, but the Celtics were fucking shit the first half of the season. I don't want to hear that shit. Really and truly. I don't want to hear that shit. The Celtics were shit. Recency bias is insane. Right? Don't whoa now me. Were the Celtics not shit the first half of the season? I'm not saying Book should win, but for him to be 7th is crazy disrespectful, bro. Because if it was, listen, all I gotta say is if Bron or Steph Curry was putting up these numbers, they would be 1. If the Lakers were the 1 seed and Bron was doing this shit, he'd be 1. If the Warriors were the 1 seed and Curry was doing this shit, he'd be 1. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, it's, like, I don't care if he doesn't win, but at least be fair, bro. Because I've seen times when the best player on the best team won it, and niggas was looking like the year Giannis won it over Harden. Hold on. The first time he won it over Harden, or I forget what it was. It was one of them. I think it was this year when he won it over Harden. What do you mean Bron is playing good basketball, but they fucking suck? 2020 Bron was robbed? Man, listen.
Is Devin Booker not anywhere near the MVP conversation? Understand this, and I love Stat Muse, I love Basketball Reference, I love all these advanced stats. Like, it all has its place. I understand that, but it's almost like it's robbed the purity of basketball, and people don't even care about winning anymore. It's just all about numbers. Understand this, the Suns aren't only the top seed in their conference, they're the top seed in the league by a landslide. If the Suns win tonight and get 60 wins, I'm making this video Thursday morning. If they win tonight, do you know they are almost on a 67 win pace and they will be 11 games up on the closest second? Do you know that gap would be the largest win margin gap since the 99-2000 Lakers? Let me ask y'all a question. Who won the MVP that year? Shaq. Didn't we say that was the one year that Shaq should have been the first unanimous MVP before Stephen Curry? So if he got that recognition, why can't Devin Booker at least be in the top 3?
Because he doesn't play for the Lakers. He doesn't play for a big market team.
Top 4, top 5?
Mondees,
this man still feels like the most underrated player in the league to me.
I'm going to be honest, Devin Booker is arguably a top 3 shooting guard in the league right now. And arguably the best defensive shooting guard in the league. Name a better defensive shooting guard. And when I say that, I mean both ways. Like, he's the number 1 scorer, and he's not you can't call him a bad defender. Who? Drew's a point guard. Next topic. Clay's not healthy. And Clay's getting cooked depending on who's guarding him. So you're talking about 2017 Clay. That's not the same person we're talking about now. Continuing on. PG-13 is playing? Okay, next. Jaylen Brown?
He wasn't even an all-star starter. And speaking of that, let's get to the person that actually was above him that we all knew had no business being that. Now, no, I'm not one to pounce on Wiggins. I actually like Andrew Wiggins, but we all knew that was BS. The 3 front court starter system. And
I'm not gonna lie, this is the craziest shit in the world, bro. K-pop fans really got Andrew Wiggins an all-star start. And I don't think you could write a better meme than that. Honestly, that is the funniest thing in the world. That explains NBA Twitter and NBA social media is so insane. K-pop stans got Andrew Wiggins an all-star start. That shit's insane.
In the NBA All-Star game, that is just completely outdated anyway, especially since a 2 and a 3, they're pretty much interchangeable now. Positions, they don't even really exist anymore. Andrew Wiggins actually getting that nod based off the Warriors' ridiculous fans, making sure he gets those front court votes, that's just disgusting, bro. Like, it just...
I hate Warriors fans, because as soon as Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are gone, you niggas aren't Warrior fans no more. So, shit's hilarious, bro.
This is. The Warriors, they deserve to have an all-star starter. They had the best record pretty much in the league for the majority of that time up until the all-star game. But the team that actually had the best record in the West, they didn't even have an all-star starter, the Suns. The NBA, they just set this man up to get crucified. And now that Stephen...
Since all-star break, the niggas averaging 15 points, 40 from the field, 30% and 50% from free throw.
Curry got hurt, and he hasn't really been playing up to par.
And the Warriors are winning a chip.
It's happening. Russell Westbrook and James Harden has actually been on the same team twice. That alone should be a damn crime. If it was one trade that should have been vetoed, it should have been that Houston trade. Both extremely talented players, off the chart numbers, Hall of Famers undoubtedly, we get all that. But calling them the greatest bad players of all time is just so damn fitting. If it was any fact to prove that, it would be this. Before 2020, we had never seen an MVP get traded in back-to-back years. Then we had Russell Westbrook, who's actually made it 3 times with this last Lakers trade. Now we have James Harden, who's joined him and has actually played on 3 teams in the last 13 months. In 2019, 2 of the biggest splash moves happened to 2 little brothers, the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Nets obviously got Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and the Clippers got Kawhi and Paul George. Even when you give these 2 franchises literally the best players the league has to offer, it still feels like something always has to go wrong. It's never smooth sailing like
niggas blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble.
The dynastic franchises. Like the Celtics, they get Ray Allen and KG, automatically they win the NBA championship. The Lakers, they get Anthony Davis and Bron, automatically their championships. You give the Clippers, who already had a championship coach, 2 6-man of the year candidates, and all this talent, you give them 2 of the most dynamic, great wing players this league has to offer, Kawhi and Paul George. And look at how it's aged. 2020, they blow a 3-1 lead to make their first Western Conference Finals. Last year, Kawhi's playing great in the playoffs and they make their first Western Conference Finals, but he gets hurt in the process. Now this year, it's no Kawhi or Paul George. It's like these teams can never put it together for some odd reason. The Nets, I know that team was old in 2013, 2014, but they had damn near a big 5, and it's comical how that aged. Then 5 years later, you give them Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and you add James Harden in the mix, and it's like they had 5 completely different teams since that trade. Look at the lack of continuity on that roster since acquiring Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Look at all the players that's been on that roster since. Look at all the games the stars have missed since joining the Nets. For some odd reason with these 2 teams, these 2 little brothers, they can just never get it right even when they have the best players. The Miami Heat actually has the best record in the East right now, despite all 3 of their best players all missing at least 17 games. This isn't even counting Victor Oladipo's status or Markieff Morris's status. And they've won all these games despite the fact that they've had like 16 different starting lineups since the beginning of the year. Like all this, and their reward can very well be Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in the first round. Like that's tough. Lastly, look at the NBA All-Stars for last season. Now look at how many games these players have missed in comparisons this season. This doesn't even include Anthony Davis, who actually made it last year but couldn't play because of injury, MPJ, or Jamal Murray, who has all-star potential. It's like this year, it's kind of been a completely different league. We all used to complain about parity in the NBA, and it was a legitimate frustration. But now with all these injuries and all these moving pieces, we have it. We just probably didn't expect it to look like this. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys turn on post notifications, because I'm telling you, for the month of April,